Alright, YOLO, let's spend 18,000 gems to buy 90 packs on the preview account that Wizards gave us for the event before the event finishes up.
Let's be real. When are you ever gonna get to do this again?
Never more.
Exactly. So may as well go nuts.
So what do you get? You get two of these. You get basically full art basic lands. Lots of basic
More full art basic lands, and then also
And we go to packs. All right, let's open a whole bunch of packs.
Let's open 90 Zendikar packs. Okay, let's do pick one pack. Let's go pick one pack one then.
We can't do pick one pack one because it gives you it opens 10 packs at a time. So we can look at the rares though.
What do you mean it opens? Is it really open 10 packs at a time?
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here opening each pack one at a time. Alright, Description of Insight. We've got that in our sealed pool. I like the inscription cycle. Choose one or choose three if you pay the kicker cost. Verizol, we talked about that on the podcast last week because we opened that in our Cracker Pack. That's the one.
Which podcast is that?
That's the Rather Be Drafting MTG podcast. It's a good place to be. Akiri the Fearless Voyager.
So what does it open 10 packs? Why can't I just open one at a time?
You can, but it'll be a raw nightmare. I've got like 20 minutes before the server shuts down.
Good reason.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll allow it this time.
Okay. We'll talk about commons and uncommons on the podcast. Let's look at some more rares. Akiri, Fearless Voyager, 1 red, white for a core warrior. Whenever you attack with one or more equipped creatures, draw a card. White, you may unattach equipment from a creature you control. If you do, tap that creature, it gains indestructible. That's pretty cool. We got a Null Priest of Oblivion, Menace Lifelink, 2 mana, 2/1, kicker 3 and a black, so a total of 4 black. If it was kicked, turn target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's pretty solid. Description of Abundance. It's another one of the description cycle. Choose one. If the spell was kicked, choose any number instead. So first choice is put 2 counters on target creature. +1/+1 counters, that is. Second option is target player gains X life, where X is the greatest power among creatures they control. And target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. So for 3 green, you can do all those things, which is actually a really good rate. The Skyclave Shade is a 1 and a black for a 3/1 with kicker 2. 1 and a black kicker. If the Shade is kicked, there's buff with 2 extra counters on it. So for 3 black, it becomes a 5/3, which is not bad. It also has landfall. Now you don't often see cards that have 2 mechanics on them, which is cool. So it has kicker and landfall. When it enters a land that's battlefield under your control, if Skyclave Shade is in your graveyard and it's your turn, you may cast it from your graveyard this turn. Undo Inversion is an 8 mana destroy all non-land permanents, which is way overcosted. Shadow's Verdict is 5 mana, 3 black. Exile all creatures and planeswalker with converted mana cost 3 or less from the battlefield. And all creatures and planeswalkers from the graveyard, 3 or less. Kind of overpriced as well. Helps with graveyard shenanigans, I guess. Let's open 10 more. Valakut Exploration. 2 and a red for an enchantment. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card as long as it remains exiled. Beginning of your end step, if there are cards exiled with exploration, put them into their owner's graveyard. Then Valakut deals that much damage to each opponent. So you basically want to... So you get an exiled card a turn. If you can't cast that card, it's going to deal 1 damage to your opponent. You might do an extra couple of damage if you manage to do a couple of landfalls. That's not terrible. We got a blue-black land and a white-black land. The landlands. Landlands. You got spell lands, you got creature lands, and of course you got landlands. Linvala, the Shield of Seagates, 1 white blue for a 3/3 with flying. Beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, choose target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Till your next turn, it can't attack or block with activated ability, so it arrests a creature per turn if you have a full party. Sacrifice Linvala, choose hexproof or indestructible. Creatures you control gain that ability till end of turn. Yeah. Maul of the Skyclaves, 2 and a white for an artifact equipment. When Maul of the Skyclaves enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. I really like that these this like all the artifact equipment in this set automatically attached to creatures in play.
Yeah.
Like, that's a cool little feature of all the equipments. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has flying and first strike. It's good equipment. The Cassandra Mammoth, which is the creature land, 1 green, 3/3 with landfall. It's battlefield, it gets +2/+2. Nothing fancy, but a good card.
Yep.
Like 3 mana, 3/3 is fine. Card that gets bigger is even better, and the fact that you can play on land on the other side if you need to. Good rate.
Bloody good rate. I like that one.
Clave Relic on screen, of course you do. Clave Relic is a 3 mana for an artifact with indestructible. Woo! Kicker 3.
Indestructible.
So it's got kicker 3. So for 6 mana you can cast it with kicker. If it enters, if you kick it, you get 2 extra copies of it. That's pretty cool. So for 6, and it adds 1 mana of any color. So for 6 mana you get 3 mana rocks.
That's kind of cool.
And they're indestructible, so they can't be killed. They can't be destructed.
That's not bad at all.
It's not bad. It's not bad. We've got
I'm kind of excited though that you just spent 18,000 gems.
I mean, it's not my gems, so it's fine. I could do it another, like 10 times if I wanted to. Actually, another 100 times. How does maths work?
Oh my god.
Like I said, these accounts they give us as part of the early access event, like they'll just keep giving you. And if I happen to spend them all, I just tell them and they give me more. Like, it's awesome.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man. It's like, cause it doesn't matter. They're not real accounts. We can't get anything with it. It's just to test the set and to show off the new format, right?
Times like this, you wish you could trade.
Yeah. Mad in Cacophony is a blue sorcery, 1 and a blue. Each opponent mills 8 cards. It also has kicker for 3 and a blue. If it was kicked, instead they mill half their library rounded up. So for 4 blue, half their library. Each opponent too. So commander players out there, get some. Zareth Sam the Trickster, 3 blue/black for a legendary creature Merfolk Rogue. Yep. Flash, 2 and a blue. Return an unblocked attacking rogue you control to its owner's hand. Put Zareth Sam the Trickster from your hand into the battlefield. Tap to take it. So it's got ninjutsu basically. Have you ever played with ninjutsu?
No, never. I don't even know what it is.
So basically, it's a ninja ability from Kamigawa, which was the feudal Japan inspired set. So literally, so the cards with ninjutsu, if you have a creature that is attacked and not blocked, you can pay their ninjutsu cost, which is like this one has, and swap it out. Put this creature in and take the other creature out. So it's literally just word for word ninjutsu, except ninjutsu only happens on ninjas. So this is a rogue. So interesting. When this card deals combat damage to a player, you may put target permanent card from that player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. That's a nice ability. That would be sweet. Alright, 10 more. No wild cards. Nimble Trapfinder is 1 and a blue for a 2/1 human rogue. Can't be blocked. If you had another cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard enter the battlefield under your control this turn, at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, creatures you control gain. When this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That's a lot of words. It's a 2 mana 2/1 that sometimes can't be blocked, and very rarely you'll get an extra ability. So it's kind of like
What do you mean by sometimes can't be blocked?
in limited. So it's only if a rogue, cleric, warrior, or wizard enter the battlefield this turn. So you're not guaranteed to cast one of those every turn, right?
Yeah.
It's fine.
That is true too.
Yeah. Scourge of the Skyclaves, 1 and a black. I had this in my sealed pool. I didn't cast it or draw it. It's a demon. Its power and toughness are each equal to 20 minus the highest life total among players in the game. So if you play it on turn 2 without any damage being done, it becomes 0/0 and dies. But obviously late game you can make it a lot bigger. And it does have kicker, so you could pay a total, so 4 and a black, so a total of 5 black. And if it was kicked, each player loses half their life rounded up. So if they're theoretically on 20, they go to 10, and this becomes a 10/10 for 7, with no evasion or any relevant combat stats, which is kind of annoying. like if it had trample, probably overpowered, but better. Or flying, because I'm pretty sure it's got wings, but yeah.
Still, man, that's pretty good.
It's cool, it's cool. So, Ameria Shattered Skyclave is our mythic spell land. The backside of it is a land. When it enters the battlefield, you can pay 3 life. If you don't, it's tapped, and it taps to add white. The front side is a sorcery for 4 white. Yep.
White and white.
White. So 7 mana total. Create 2 4/4 white angel warrior creature tokens with flying. Non-angel creatures you control gain indestructible until your next turn. So that's just a win the game bomb, that is. Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Coralheim Chroniclers, 2 and a blue for a 2/2 wizard, merfolk wizard. Whenever you cast a kicked spell, draw a card, discard a card. When Coralheim Chronicler enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a card with a kicker ability from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom. I mean, that's cool. You could build a... If you're heavy on kicker, you can play that and guarantee to draw a card and then draw more cards as you go.
It's not bad.
Oh, you're legendary. Yashan. Yashan, the Implacable Earth. 2 green-white for an elemental boar. When Yashan enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic forest card and a basic plains card. Reveal those cards, put them into your hand, shuffle your library. Players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities. So that stops fetches being able to be used in eternal formats, which is interesting. Because you can't, you need to be able to pay 1 life and sacrifice to fetch. Yeah, sure. We've got an Archon of Ameria, 2 and a white for a 2/3 Archon. Flying. Each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. Non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Sure. Like it's an upgrade to there was a 2/3 back in Ixalan that made things kind of play tapped and has an extra ability on there.
It's not bad. It's nothing special though, I feel.
No, like you play it, you're just not hyped to open in a pack, right? We've got Kaza the Royal Chaser, blue and a red for a 1/2 legendary creature human wizard. Flying Haste, tap. The next instant or sorcery spell this turn costs X less to cast, where X is the number of wizards you control as the ability resolves. So at worst case, it reduces the next instant or sorcery spell by 1. Obviously, if you have a wizard's base deck, it will be a lot more. We've got the white-green land. Ooh, we've got a Sphinx wizard. I can't believe they've got Sphinxes with other things. Like Sphinxes are...
It does seem a bit weird, I won't lie.
Yeah, Sphinx Rogue really threw me the other night. 2 blue for a 1/4 flying Sphinx wizard. When it enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards, discard a card. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery or wizard spell, you may have Wizard Master of the Wind's base power and toughness become 4/1 or 1/4 until end of turn. So whenever you cast instant sorcery or wizard spell, you can switch it to a 4/1, and then afterwards you can switch it back to a 1/4 if you need be. Cool. Alright, 10 more. With the Lithoform engine, our buddy Food Time is really high on the Lithoform engine. This is the one that you can tap to copy stuff, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so 2 and tap. Oh, sorry.
That one is kind of insane, though, when you think about it.
Like as I said, there's got to be some broken combos out there, especially when you're looking at Commander and stuff. I don't think it's broken in Constructed, but in Sealed or Draft. Yeah, that thing that I play.
He's like, yet.
Yet.
They'll find a way. They always do.
They always do. So 2 and tap, copy target artifact or triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose 2 targets. And 4, copy target permanent spell becomes a token. Ooh, we got the mythic green sorcery land. Look at the top. So it's 4 green. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield. If that card has the converted mana cost 3 or less, it enters with 3 additional +1/+1 counters on it. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order.
Okay, that's pretty good.
So for 7 mana, the worst case you get is a 4/4 out of your library. Realistically, you're going to get something better than that most of the time.
I do like that card.
It's green, of course you do.
I would say, what colour is it again?
Green.
Naturally.
What have we got? Is it? Would you say Archpriest or Archpriest?
I would say Archpriest.
Archpriest of Iona. Cool.
Well, maybe it is Archpriest. Yeah, Archpriest, I guess.
Well, because you have like an Arch Nemesis and an Archbishop, right? So I guess it would be Archpriest.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But Arch kind of sounds, I don't know. The power is equal to the number of creatures in your party. So worst case, it's a 1/2 for 1. At the beginning of your combat of your turn, if you have a full party, target creature gets +1/+1 and gains flying until end of turn. Fancy.
Not bad.
Not great, to be honest.
No, it's not. No, I didn't say it was great. I just,
Roiling Vortex is an enchantment for 1 and red. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, Roiling Vortex deals 1 damage to them. When a player casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast that spell, Roiling Vortex deals 5 damage to that player. Red, your opponents can't gain life this turn.
Damn, son.
So if people are trying to cheat spells in, it's going to hurt them. Right, let's go 10 more. We're probably getting through most of the rares by now. I'm only doing the first time we see it, of course.
Yeah, no, I got that.
The Tajuru Paragon is a 1 and a green for a 3/2 elf. It is a cleric, rogue, warrior, and wizard. It has kicker. Yeah.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah. It has kicker 3, so for 4 and a green, when it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, reveal the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a creature that shares a creature type with it from among them into your hand. Put the rest at the bottom of your library.
Oh my god. Can you imagine it in like a Commander elf deck or in like an elf deck in general?
Yeah, just any elf deck, or I said like it is a cleric, rogue, warrior, wizard, so any of those kind of decks.
Oh yeah, so technically it could be any. Oh man, that is horrible.
We got your friend, the Ancient Green Warden, 4 green for a 5/7 reach. You may play lands from your graveyard. If a land enters the battlefield causes a trigger ability of a permanent you control to trigger. So doubles all your landfall but triggers, basically.
That's insane. And also gives you like a massive body and reach as well, just in case.
Yep. We got the red-green land as well. I wonder why do the rare ones just enter with the mythic ones? You have to pay 3 life to keep them untapped. I don't quite understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throne of Makindi is a land that taps for colorless. 1 and a tap. Put a charge counter on the Throne of Makindi. Remove a charge. Or tap. Remove a charge counter from the Throne of Makindi. Add 2 mana of any one color. Spend this only to cast kicked spells. Nah, no thanks.
It's like, how about no?
Nah, I'm good. Swarm Shambler. Our opponent plays this against us. Green for a 0/0. Enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. Whenever a creature you control with +1/+1 counter becomes the target of a spell an opponent controls, make an insect. 1/1 insect.
Yeah, didn't we had that one played a few times actually.
No, they just played it against us once and then didn't do anything with it. 1 and a tap, put a counter on it. Nothing too fancy. Oh, it's getting late. Alright, 40 to go. Let's see if there are new ones in this pile. Yeah, a couple of new ones. We've got an Angel of Destiny, 3 white. This is the 2/6 flying double strike angel cleric. Whenever a creature you control deal combat damage to a player, you and that player each gain that much life. And then at the beginning of your end step, if you have 15 life more than your starting life total, each player that you attacked with the angel loses the game. It's so wordy, but it makes sense when you're doing it.
Yeah.
We got a Nissa of Shadowed Boughs.
Oh, that's nice.
2 black-green for a 4 loyalty planeswalker with landfall. Whenever a land enters battlefield under your control, put a loyalty counter on Nissa. Untap target land you control, you may have it... Sorry, for +1. Untap target land you control, you may have it become a 3/3 elemental creature token with... creature with haste and mana till end of turn. It's still a land. Ow, that was hard to say for some reason. Just a nice...
I think that also got played against you too.
No, I didn't see any planeswalkers.
Oh no! Sorry, I was thinking of another land that made it a
Yeah, it was just the enchantment that makes it
sorry. Yep.
And then for -5, put a creature card with converted mana cost less than or equal to the number of lands you control onto the battlefield from your hand or graveyard with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. We also got Nahiri in the same group of 10. Nahiri,
Jesus.
yeah, 2 red white for a 4 loyalty walker again. +1, create a 1/1 core warrior. You may attach an equipment you control to it. -2 to look at the top 6 cards of your library, a warrior or an equipment card from among them into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library. Or -3 to deal damage equal to twice the number of equipment you control. So it's a bit situational, but yeah. We got Jace. We got Jace as well. Apparently we got all the planeswalkers this time.
What a 10 pack.
Yeah. 1 blue for a 4 loyalty planeswalker with kicker 2. If you kick him, you get a copy of Jace that's not legendary and has 1 loyalty. +1 scry 2. And 0 to draw a card and reveal it. Remove a number of loyalty cards equal to that card's converted mana cost from Jace. And then we've got Grakmore. Grakmore Skyclave Ravager, 1 black-green, legendary creature Hydra Horror. Enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever another creature you control dies, if it had a +1/+1 counter, put a counter on this guy. When it dies, create an XX black and green Hydra, where X is the number of counters. Pretty sweet. Which planeswalker do you like the most of the 3?
Not Jace, because I just don't like Jace.
For the cards, though.
Can you just quickly flash back on them, just so I can have a quick...
I think this is the best in a draft environment.
The fact that it just has the landfall trigger for her loyalty points as well. And plus then you can also get a +1 as well. It's kind of insane.
It's pretty sweet. I think, yeah, I mean, they're all good, obviously, because they're planeswalkers. Nahiri just seems the most situational, so you're kind of forced to build around it pretty hard. We've got less than 5 minutes, so I'm trying to run through these. Valakut, you're right. Valakut Awakening is an instant for 2 and a red. It's a spell land. Put any number of cards from your hand at the bottom of your library, then draw that many cards +1, or it's a land that comes into play tapped. We've got Confounding Conundrum. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. When a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, if that player had another land enter the battlefield under that control that turn, they return a land they control to its owner's hand. So you can't, basically if you want to play more than one land, you got to bounce. You can't go up. We've got the blue-red land. Coveted Prize is a 5-mana sorcery. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party, 4 and black normally. Search your library for a card. Put that card into your hand, shuffle your library. If you have a full party, you may cast a spell with converted mana cost 4 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. So if you have a full party, that costs black only for both those effects. Pretty sweet.
It's not bad.
Forsaken Monument. Colorless creatures get +2/+2, 5-mana artifact. Whenever you tap a permanent for colorless, add an additional colorless. When you cast a colorless spell, you gain 2 life. This Luminarch Aspirate was a pain in the butt. The 1 and a white for a 1/1. When you begin with combat, put a counter on target creature you control. I mean, it's good, but I don't want to play against it. A black rare spell land. 2 black for an instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast if an opponent controls no basic lands. Destroy target creature. Glasspool Mimic is 2 and black for a 0/0. You may have it enter the battlefield as a copy of target creature, except it's a shapeshifter rogue in addition to its other types. That's cool.
Damn, son.
The Legion Angel, 2 black for a 4/3 angel warrior. When it enters the battlefield, you may reveal a card you own named Legion Angel from outside the game and put it into your hand. Interesting. And Tabrax, we saw Tabrax, we were talking about him during the game. When creatures die, you put a counter on him. When he gets more than 5 counters, you cast lifelink, and he's 2/2.
One more.
Final 10, let's go. Seagate Restoration, the mythic spell land. 4 blue. Draw cards equal to number of cards in your hand +1. You have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Yeah, that's pretty terrible.
I feel like to draw cards equal to, I feel like this could be good in Commander, because having no hand size, you have to draw a hell of a lot, is really cool.
I mean, if you got 5 cards in your hand already, that's draw 6 for 7 mana. It's not terrible. If you got anything less than that, you feel bad.
The problem is though, is you're so late game as well that it's a bit of a pain. But I guess at the end of the day, though, if you've only got 2 and you're not getting much, worst case scenario, play it and then do that. But I feel like this would be good for Commander more than anything.
Agadim's Awakening is X black. Return from your graveyard to the battlefield any number of target creature cards that each have converted mana cost X or less. So for 4 mana, you can get a whole bunch of one drops. That's not terrible, actually. I'm sure there's some cool things people are going to do with that.
Yeah.
We've got the Myriad Construct, which is a 4 mana 4/4 with kicker 3. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, it enters with a +1/+1 counter for each non-basic land your opponents control. When it becomes the target of spells, sacrifice it and create a number of 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature tokens equal to its power. I mean, okay. I don't like it.
I like that. Yeah, cool.
No, I don't like it. I'm sure there's things you can do with it, but I'm not a fan. Cragplate Baloth, it's a 5 and a green. Here you go. For a 6/6 with hexproof and haste. Cannot be countered. Has kicker 2 and a green, so a total of 7 green. If it was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 4 counters on it.
Oh man, so especially if you're playing a counter deck, this could be one dish to have in the hole just in case.
So it's a 10/10 for 10 with hexproof and haste that can't be countered. It's got to do work.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we just opened 90 packs for 18,000 gems on the preview account, thanks to the folks at Wizards of the Coast.
Fingers crossed they're okay with it.
They are. I mean, they are. The guys, it's really grateful. I'm really grateful they invite me to be part of the early access event. They give us these fully stocked accounts. It's really awesome of them.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's also good fun. It's also nice just to see people play.
Yeah.
And just get their head around it, and especially content creators that probably have a better idea than some of us, or at the very least are having some fun with it. And yeah, it's a clever way to share something like this, I feel.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I guess that'll be the end of it. As always, I'm MP Numbers. I've got Dez on the line.
See you later, guys. Thank you for joining Numbers and putting up with me.
Cool. And as always, we're going to say it together, ready? As always, I'd rather be drafting. Yeah, suck. We would rather be drafting. Make sure if you do like hearing us talk, check out the podcast, MTGRBD, Rather Be Drafting. Myself, Dez, and our good buddy Food Time do it once a week. MTGRBD.popbean.com. Bye.
Laters.